So what we're going to be doing today is trying to replace the side sprayer. If you turn it on at this point, the water's not coming out very good. I got it taped up, but there's a couple leaks in the hose. And if you see when I turn it on, the water is all going into the sink, so I'm just wasting water and I can't have it there anymore, as all the water was just going down under the sink. I kept having to clean that up. Alright, so we bought a new one. This is what came on the pack. Tape. There you go. And hopefully it fits. It says it should. Another side sprayer, whole hose, and the mount for it. Alright, I'll get to this in just a moment. So, like I said, every time you turn this on, this faucet is barely running any water, and you can see it's not holding the pressure like it usually does. It's literally just dripping water everywhere. So, we'll get to fixing that. Alright, so as you can see, we're under the sink here. The bottom shelving here is fairly bowed, but that's not from this situation. It's been like that probably since I bought the house. Seems fairly sturdy in most places. I'm sure up here by that hole is not good. We have the old style water shutoffs here instead of the levers. One there. You can just see one behind that pipe there. And this is the one that runs to the dishwasher. So we'll turn those off. And then we're going to try to get up to about, sorry about that, somewhere up here. You can see everything attaches, and this right here that you can see moving around is for the side sprayer. So we should be aiming to get right up there and being able to change it out. Okay, so I tried shutting off these two valves, and the dishwasher one shuts off no problem. These two older ones just won't move. So we will try some lubricant. See if I can get that here. Alrighty, let's get some lubricant right in there. We'll wipe that all up. Spray and stay. Just something to try to loosen up the valves. Not a big deal. Just clean it right back up. Let's see if it moves. Nope, nothing. Okay. I think at this point we just turn off the main water to the house. Alright, so what I went ahead and did is I just turned the main water shutoff off in my house. There's individual supply line shutoffs attached to the hot and the cold here. Obviously haven't been touched in a long time. They're seized, they're older. Probably, you know, I could take some time to unseize them, and I will eventually, but probably should just be replaced with newer shutoffs. So let's just check the water. Alright, drain the water out. And that should be the end of it coming up here soon. Speed up this process a little bit. There's no real pressure coming from this sprayer, even with the water turned on all the way. That was what was going to end up under the sink if I didn't shut off the water, and it was just going to keep on coming. So there you go. Okay, so here we are. Got some vice grips on that. Got some rags down below to catch what water's going to drip off. No, my luck, right in my face. And I think we just twist this piece. Okay, so I'm not really a huge fan of having the whole house's water turned off while I work on a project here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some different kind of lube here. give this a spray. And then we're gonna try to shut it. See, like so. Now it moves. We're gonna make sure to turn the one off for the dishwasher. Hopefully that's off all the way. Just an extra precaution. I mean, I'm not running the dishwasher obviously while I'm doing this. And let's try spraying this other one. It's a little harder to get to. Let's see if I can. Hold the paper towel down. Start making a mess. Okay. Spray a nice bunch on there. Grab a rag and see if I can get this one to turn. It's stuck open. Okay, hold on 1 second. Really soak that in there. Putting way more than I need, I'm sure, but it probably hasn't been open in years. Oh, there we go. You can hear it. You can hear it give. Just gonna. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my phone down here. I'm gonna open and close that one a few times, put a little more lube in that, just make sure I can get it going. Alright, so as you can see, I have the water running once again. Now what I did there is, I had both individual supply lines moving pretty good. I still felt some resistance, so when I put the phone down there, I just went and I sprayed it a bunch more, and I opened it and closed it repeatedly, kept spraying it until I felt no resistance. Now, let's see if this is shut off okay. Let's see if they work. Alright. So, we have the hot one. I'm not currently running any hot water, but I'll test it. Closes pretty easy now. Now this cold one, that's the one I'm currently running. It still doesn't feel great, but like right there, it says it's shut off. So I guess we'll see, or if I need to spray it a little more. I don't want to crank on it, it's old. The last thing you want to do is really put a lot of power into anything. Could risk breaking it, so let's try. Okay, turn it off a little harder than that. Like I said, it's giving some resistance still, but not much. I know I can shut it off more. I just don't really want to grab it too hard. Grab a quick rag. There we go. Definitely still moving. Oh, it felt like all the way to me. Let's go check. Can't hear nothing. And don't see any more water. Okay, so that's a little better. Better than shutting off the water to the whole house. I mean, you know, if a project takes a while, you want to be able to have other people use the water, or you use it for yourself as well. Alright, so here we are. I gave it a, what I did is I sprayed it a little bit. It was on there kind of tight. And once I gave it a, just not even a half turn, after I sprayed it with some lube, it's just coming undone completely. Oh, there goes the flashlight. Anyway, you can see I've just been able to unhook it. And like I said, I'm gonna get water on my face. That's why I have some rags down here below me. And what we should be able to do is pull that right through and hopefully just hook up another one pretty simply. Just bear with me here. I'm just gonna keep this hose straight. Basically, the water is trapped in the hose. If I turn the hose or it tips down, all the water's gonna come out. Okay. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of water left in the hose. Like I said, I'd shut off the water. There was just a little bit, and spraying right in my face. So really what should happen now that it's unhooked, I should be able just to grab this hose, which is really the root of the problem. Honestly, the root of the problem, if I undid the tape, is right where the hose is connecting to the sprayer. The metal piece that's there has detached from the hose. And this is just a temporary fix to stop it from spraying all over the place. Swearing is more like what I was doing when it was spraying all over the place. So this should just come right out. Let's see here. And there you go. So now you have it out. And as you can see, it's just got a little hook up here. See, that was it. Just hooked up to underneath. I should be able to, hopefully, just put a little tape on. And if it fits correctly, I should be able just to replace my existing one with the replacement one without needing to change much on my setup. I should not even need to change the, I know it comes with a mount piece, which is great, but I should be able just to use it. I mean, it's just a hole next to my faucet. So we'll see what happens. So as you can see, I just have the piece that came with the faucet right here. Now the one that came with the replacement is pretty nice. I mean, it looks obviously a lot nicer and cleaner. Obviously, you really need to clean off now that I've been messing around. And it just clips on the bottom. I went and had a look under my sink, and really there wasn't this whole setup like this. This is actually just a drilled hole right under, and this little opening just came with the faucet. So essentially what I would need to do, if I really wanted to, there's a little seam there. I mean, I could try to just pop it off. Chances are, for what I'm doing here, this is an older setup. At some point I'll just redo the kitchen, change out the sink. As you can see, it's pretty old. So I'm just gonna skip that. I said I was going to, and then I thought about just showing you guys I was going to change it out just because the new one obviously looks way nicer, but I'm not really seeing a lot of point to doing that. So we have the new sprayer right here. I mean, I'm not sure I like it as much as the old one, but I guess we'll see how it works. You just get used to things eventually. So that part's a little weird to me, but we'll see. And I'm not sure if the hose is as long. It might be, it's just coiled up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push it through, and then we'll start videoing under the sink and see if I can screw it back in. Okay, so back under here, I have the new hose piece hooked up to my sink. One major difference is obviously that other one was really old, so the hose here just doesn't move very well. So you just want to make sure you don't have it all kinked up when you go to hook it up. It's really stiff. Sorry. Trying to work with that. Now what I'm going to do is they gave me a little bit of the tape that goes around there. I'll put some of that on, and I'll show you that in just a second. I need two hands. And then we'll just hook it up and we'll see if the sprayer is going to work. One thing I've discovered is it's not going to fit as nice up top because the connector piece with the hole was a little bigger. It doesn't fit in the pre-drilled holes. If this was a long-term setup, you'd be better off making the hole a little bigger and putting in the new piece. For me, this isn't really long-term. Okay, so you can see I got a little of that tape on. Probably could be on a little better. There actually was not on there, so what I'm putting on is still better than what I just had. One of the key things for me right now is just to try to not have the hose be all kinked while I'm doing this. I just feel like it'll be a bad start if it's already kinked right from the beginning. Bear with me 1 second. Like I said, this hose is really stiff. Oh, there goes the flashlight. You can still see basically. Okay. I'll fix the flashlight here in a second. See if I can get the hose started. I'm not sure what everyone else is under their sink, but I'm not dealing with a lot of space here. So basically I'm just going to hook this piece up to where we took it off. You can see it right there. I'll tighten it by hand. Maybe I'll give it a little half tighten with vice grips, and then we'll test it out. So what I ended up using instead, vice grips are just usually the worst, honestly. So I just used this size 15 wrench. And the way it's shaped is, I don't have a lot of space to turn up there because the sink's in the way, so I could go this way for a bit and then it wouldn't fit good. Then I just flip it, go a little more, flip it, go a little more. Before you know it, it feels nice and tight. So let's see. The floor underneath this sink is very bowed, and obviously I was leaning on it, so it didn't make it any better. Again, this is, I think this kitchen's from the 80s, something like that. So let's see what happens. That's the hot, so not much should go on. Hopefully when I open that up, the one that I'm thinking might have an issue, if something's gonna leak, it's gonna be this cold one, because that's probably, the faucet's probably set to cold. I usually just do that out of habit. Okay, then we gotta make sure we adjust the dishwasher one as well. And then what we will do is we will test it out and we'll see what this new sprayer does. So we have a few things we're going to check. One is the faucet. Like I was showing at the beginning, wasn't really getting a lot of water coming from it. We want to check the sprayer. The other thing is, once I turn on the water, we obviously want to make sure it's tight enough where it's not squirting all the water under the sink. Obviously that little shelf under my sink is already going through a tough time. I probably just made it worse. I basically don't fit under there, so you have to put your weight right on it. I knew that was going to happen. It's not a big surprise. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We'll start with the cold, I guess. Alright, so still not running very well. I might need to actually fix that. Put the piece that attaches into the faucet sprayer. I'm not getting full pressure here, that's the problem. So it might take a second, some air in the lines or something. Okay, now let's take a look here. I'll leave the water running. It's running a little better. Let's see here, get the flashlight and see if we have any drips. Now, obviously got a mess under here, but so far I'm not seeing any water dripping down. So we'll see if these valves open up a little more, because the water pressure is still not great, but that could just be the piece attached to the faucet. It could be a little dirty, clogged up with something. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to let that water run. First things first is we do want to see if we're getting any drips. I'm going to make sure that's open all the way. And I'll do the same with this one. Yellow. Okay, they seem to be open all the way. The dishwasher one is open. Still not seeing any drips or anything coming from here. Which the other one, what the other one was doing with the hole in the hose, it was just sending water down. Little drips at a time. I have a couple of plastic tubs down, plastic tubs down here, so it's just catching the water. There wasn't much, but obviously you don't want any water coming under, so I had to tape it up and then stop that. Alright. Let's go back and have a look here. See if we can get that going. Oh, that's better already, see? You shut the water off there, you get more pressure. Sprayer works okay. I feel like it's probably got some water saver stuff on it. I might leave it on for now, but I like a lot more pressure than this, so probably see if I can top that off. And what's going to happen is I'll pull this piece while I'm here. I'll pull this piece off the sink and just see what's causing it to do this. It didn't start until the sprayer was having a problem, so I didn't think it would still be there, but there must be some sort of issue there. But anyway, sprayer works. Not getting the drip down here, down the hole, and for something that's been an ongoing issue for a little bit, I mean, seems like a pretty easy fix. The one thing, like I said, is it's not going to look the best. It doesn't fit quite the same. See, it doesn't perfectly fit. So obviously, in a perfect world, if I was keeping this longer term or particularly cared, what I would do is I would just take this little piece off, and just make the hole, drill the hole under the counter a little bigger. The thing with that is this piece here, the hole might be preset for this, and it just might not fit the new one. The new one's a little bigger, but I could probably have manipulated something if I super wanted to. Anyway, you know, I don't claim to be particularly handy, so, you know, I'm sure I could have done things different. But, you know, it worked. That's basically the main thing. I'll try to do things myself if I can. Within reason, nothing major obviously, but I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to do this, but for now I have a sprayer that was leaking pretty badly, and now it seems to work. I think the hose probably has some kinks in it too. I mean, like I said, this one is super stiff. The other one needs to come right out. This one probably caught on pipes and stuff underneath, and I'll work on that. But there you go, all done. Thanks for watching.